Welcome back, everybody. It's our semi-main event of the week. Two men who have been on the losing end of things recently. One of them's going to rebound to get a victory here this week. Will it be our first participant or will it be our second participant? We're going to find out very shortly.
One fall, making his way to the ring from every man's nightmare. Weighing in at 246 pounds, the Icon.
Sting making his way to the ring in his most recent Fantasy Warfare encounter. He was on the losing end of a battle with The Rock. And of course, Kenny Omega on the losing end of a battle with The Undertaker last week here on Fantasy Warfare. One of these two men will have to walk away with the victory. Of course, I say that, maybe we'll get our first double count out in Fantasy Warfare history. Sting and Kenny Omega very well could cross paths someday in AEW, but that day has yet to come in a one-on-one matchup. But never say never, you never know. It really could happen. Especially with Kenny Omega in a stable, and Sting frequently hanging around stables. You never know.
Weighing in at 227 pounds, Kenny Omega!
Or maybe not him so much that Sting hangs around stables, it's that people hang around him and Darby and they kind of create a little bit of a stable in a way for their battles they've had in the past. But the point remains, Sting and Kenny Omega never crossed paths in AEW, but that's not to say they couldn't cross paths in the future. But the future doesn't matter when we've got it right here and now in Fantasy Warfare. Sting and Kenny Omega this week, our semi-main event of Fantasy Warfare. One match to go after this one. Hell in a Cell for the Hardcore Championship. The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody gonna do battle in our final match of the season. Of course, as we talked about earlier on, we do have some special content planned for in between Season 1 and Season 2. WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, The Lost Tapes. A series of matches unearthed from before we were doing it as a weekly show when Fantasy Warfare was kind of just tacking on to a variety of different events. They happen at various WWE, WCW, ECW, NWA, you name it, it has happened. And we're going to unearth those tapes starting on Wednesday, March 15th. Start the unearthing process, and we'll be presenting those 3 times a week in between Season 1 and Season 2 of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. Of course, if you're following on social media at Bloody Bill Vox, you know all the details about the Lost Tapes and the return of Fantasy Warfare in Season 2 as Kenny Omega hits a quick ripcord knee and then tries for the springboard moonsault, but Sting moved the hell out of the way. I don't even know how he could have moved out of the way after getting rocked like that. Sting up on the top rope, comes down with a double axe handle, but Kenny Omega says, "No way, sir. I got you good in the gut." Nice knife edge chop by Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega looking to end Season 1 on a winning note. Kenny Omega's had a number of infamous matches here in Season 1. That crazy ladder match with Kurt Angle, his feud with Roman Reigns, that 3-on-3 Hell in a Cell with the Elite and the Bloodline. Of course, the backstage brawl with Roman and Kenny Omega. And then the IWGP Championship match that blew off the rivalry between Roman and Kenny. During our Viewers' Choice Month, the feud was so heated that management decided there had to be one non-Viewers' Choice matchup on the show as Sting dropped Kenny Omega on the top of his head. Big time as Sting goes from behind. He's got him, shin breaker. Yes, it is. Nice shin breaker by Sting. Looking to start weakening the legs of Kenny Omega. That was just disgusting. Sting was looking to start weakening the legs for a Scorpion Deathlock, but Kenny Omega said, "Hey, how about a double arm screw your neck drop?" Sting with a back rake on Kenny Omega, going for a scoop slam, but he gets countered. Sting with a back elbow to Kenny Omega, locking up with him. Press slam. Oh, look at the power of Sting as he drops Kenny Omega. Sting now dragging Omega around the ring. Scorpion Deathlock. He's locking it up. He didn't get to do much weakening of the legs, but he's got Omega very close to the ropes. Omega would not have to crawl very far to get a rope break, but it doesn't look like Omega is able to even shift his body weight and able to move, so instead he focuses on breaking the hold, which he is able to do. Kenny Omega saving himself from the Scorpion Deathlock, using the leg strength. As we said, Sting didn't have much of a chance to weaken the legs of Kenny Omega, and I think that came back to bite him on that one. Oh, again on the back of the head. Full Nelson German suplex by Kenny Omega into the cover on Sting, and Sting's able to kick out. Omega bringing Sting back to his feet and hits him with the V-trigger. V-trigger right to the jawline. Referee in position, and that is all for Sting as Kenny Omega picks up the huge victory with that running V-trigger right to the jawline of the man they call Sting, as Kenny Omega able to end Season 1 on a winning note, picking up the victory over Sting here today. But we still have one more match to go, my friends. It is our main event inside of a Hell in a Cell for the Hardcore Championship. Never thought I'd see that one main eventing here in Fantasy Warfare, but nonetheless it is. Hardcore Championship on the line as The Undertaker challenges Bruiser Brody, and that one is coming up next.
Here is your winner, Kenny Omega.